Hey y'all, Nova here. Today I'll be making a tier list for the guns in Marauders Early Access. So starting off with the 1911 Government, I'd say this is a decent pistol, but it is a pistol. It only has 8 shots. It shoots relatively slowly compared to fully automatic, so I'd say we put in C tier. It's not like useless, but it's pretty bad. So the stamp can go in the same place. It's about the same. Wellrod, okay, we can put this sort of in like D or slash like meme tier. It's pretty trash. Like if you're bringing in for, but like as a meme build, you can one shot headshot people with it. So sort of like a meme, but it's definitely, if you're going for like as many kills as you can get or whatever, it's not the best weapon. So now the Clob, I would say that the recoil's not too bad on it, and you can definitely melt people. But it's also like definitely not the best. I mean, it's a pistol SMG sort of, so I would put it maybe in B tier. It could be like high B tier probably. PPSH, definitely A tier. Great gun, really cheap. You can get it off of any of the security personnel. It shoots fast, the recoil is manageable, and seems like a decent place for it. The D-Elise Carbon, I have no idea. I probably said that completely wrong, but that's okay. Anyways, I'll put in the meme tier again. This really should be, maybe I can change it. Yeah, meme tier. It's silenced, which is nice, but it's single shot, really slow shooting, but it does one shot headshot. So it's, I don't know. It's more of a meme than like an actual gun you should be using. The bar, I definitely put S tier. It hits like a freaking truck. It doesn't have the highest fire rate, and the recoil is pretty bad, but if you get like the compensator on it, it is an insane gun. So the DP28 actually was, I don't know if they changed it from beta or something, but I tried it a couple times and it felt awful. The aim down sights on it is just, it's so slow that it basically makes the weapon unusable, because hip firing in this game is just so highly inaccurate. So I'm going to put this in the meme tier, but this is like not a meme, it's just a trash gun, don't use it. So then the Heavy Thompson, I'd say, is really great. I'd put that in S tier immediately. The assault rifle, too high of recoil. I could not get it to work. It just felt like it is unusable. Bren, also unusable. It has a really slow aimed out sights. It hits like a truck if you're able to, but you have this huge magazine covering up like your line of sight. I wouldn't use it either. Crosser rifle, we can put it up here. It has a 20 round magazine, which is really small. It feels like it chews through that really fast. The recoil is also really high for like the size of the rifle. So definitely a C or even like high meme tier weapon. I don't know, not my favorite. Definitely would not suggest using it. Liberator, straight up, it could be either B. I'll put it in A tier. Really good gun if you can get close to people, but if it's like a mid-range fight, and it'll spread out and you won't get as many hits. The LPO flamethrower, I actually, for some reason, have not come across it in the early access. I just haven't come across it, so I can't speak to how good it is in the early access, but in the beta, it slapped pretty hard, so I'll put it in like a B tier. You have to be pretty close, but it definitely melts people. So then the Luger, you know, it's a pistol, so it's pretty trash, but I have gotten a couple kills. It's like the old trusted, you know, because it always spawns on the ship. It is nice, by the way, that they always spawn the Luger now and not the Wellrod. It was really annoying when you could like have the Wellrod spawn and it was just like this useless like starting pistol in your ship. I'm glad that they changed it so that the ship always spawns with the Luger. So the M16, if you can click fast and keep the recoil down, this gun is like, ooh, I'd say like high A tier. It melts. It has really high like damage, especially against people in high armor. I'm really liking the M16 actually. I wasn't sure about it at first, but it is quite nice. Well, I'm struggling to tell what that is. I think that's the Johnson. That photo is really bad, but I'm pretty sure this is the Johnson. We'll put in B tier. It one-shots people, or even like two-shots people, but it's slow to shoot. And it has a long barrel, so if you're like close to walls where most of the game is like closed corridors, it'll like pull up like where you can't aim with it. So not my favorite, but it's not bad. This is the Rising, I believe. No, that's the Rising. What in the world? We're just gonna skip that. I actually don't know what that is. Okay, so the M45K, I put this like around with the Clob. It's a nice SMG, but like things like the Uzi have a faster fire rate, so, and it has a like relatively high recoil too for how low its fire rate is. So I don't really like that gun. I think that's like a, right, yeah, that seems like a good place for it. So the ricing, actually this was the first gun I used in early access, and I wiped out a couple squads with it. So just like, this is just personal preference. I actually really enjoyed using it. I'm not saying like putting it where it is, it's not saying that it's that good of a gun like actually in the game. I just have a like personal, I enjoyed using it and I got some kills with it. So if you can get like headshots, it's pretty nice. Okay, Mat 49, definitely S tier, one of the first like weapons you can get in the game from the trader. And if you can slap a stock on it, it has basically no recoil, hits pretty hard, great SMG, just all around decent gun, I'd say. The Mauser 712, I'd say this pistol is pretty decent. Some people love it and some people find it unusable. If you can get like I think the extended mag and then the stock on it, it makes it more expensive, and it's decent. I don't know. The thing is, like, it's not really worth what you pay for, right? Because it's already a 2,000 gun, and then you can like you have to buy like 1,000 in dollars like for its attachments. So I don't know. Not my favorite. Okay, the heavy MG or just the MG. Pretty much useless. You can't aim down sights with it. It's just going into the meme tier. The Obras, it hits really hard. If you can hit your shots with this thing, it can one tap people. So maybe we'll put it like right there with the Johnson. It's definitely not as good as the Johnson, but it can hit really hard. It just has it's really slow. It's like, I don't know if it's bolt action or not, but it's really slow shooting. So MP40, definitely gonna put it like at the back of S, maybe high A tier actually. Under the M16, it's somewhere maybe about even with M16. If you put the silencer and the stock on it, it's a great like mid-tier gun. You can get it early in the game, which is another plus to it, but it's just sort of mid-tier. It's not like the best SMG, but it's not the worst either. So then the sawed-off shotgun, this thing seems pretty useless in my hands, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm telling you, those like the prison guards that have this, or not the guards, but the prisoners that have the sawed-off, they just like one tap you, and I don't understand it, but they're crazy. So for like us using it, it feels pretty trash, but the prisoners are just insane with that thing. Terminator's really good. It only has one shot, so I'll put it like below the Liberator, but if you hit your one shot, you can one shot people with it, especially if you get a headshot. STG, this is my favorite gun so far, honestly. Well, okay, maybe it's between the STG and the Uzi. But I'm really enjoying using the STG. The recoil feels a lot more manageable than in beta. I don't know if they changed that or not, but I am enjoying the STG way more than I did before, and I think it is a wonderful gun, and it just demolishes people even in the level 10 armor. It's crazy. The SVT, I actually really like this gun. I'd say I'd put it probably next to the M16. It hits a lot harder than the M16. It doesn't fire as fast though. But if you're able to hit like your headshots with this thing, it's crazy. It does so much damage. Definitely really like the SVT for sure. I think that is the flare gun. It looks like the flare pistol. I have not gotten a chance to use this again. That's my bad, but I just haven't seen it. I know that so the flare gun spawns in the foreman office. I know that it does like 50 damage, like just flat rate. So I think if you headshot with it, it'll one tap people. But I've just not run into it in the early access yet. But I know that it spawns in the mining foreman's office, like on the table probably. But I've not seen it, unfortunately. I actually haven't gone to mine that much. It's been, they added like the 3 maps, right? And I have been struggling to get the mine, but I did get it for like the furnace and that. So, okay, so next, the jackhammer. Again, another weapon I have not seen in the early access, but in the closed beta, it felt like trash. It just felt like the spread was crazy, and the Liberator and the Terminator were way better than it, for sure. Trench gun, I'm putting in S tier. This thing is crazy. The spread feels really nice, and you can absolutely demolish people with it. So I'd probably put it in front of the Mat 49. Yeah, that looks like a good. We'll put the Thompson right there. Wonderful gun. Without the attachments, it can have sort of like high recoil. So maybe we'll put it before the Mat 49, but it does a lot of damage, and yeah, so I definitely like the Thompson, but it needs its stock. Uzi, depending, like, I don't know, it's between the Uzi. The Uzi is my favorite gun in the game probably, but the SCG is really nice too. So it's just sort of personal preference, but I'd say the Uzi is better because you can buy the ammo for it. You can't buy the 7.62 ammo for the SDG. So I would put the Uzi as the best gun in the game right now. I think most of the people on the top of the leaderboards are using the Uzi to get kills. You just got to deck it out with the suppressor, an extended magazine, and the stock, and it absolutely shreds. The recoil's almost non-existent. I have a guess that nerfs are probably going to be coming for the Uzi in the future. But yeah, honestly, the best gun in the game, I think, by far. And I would highly, if you want to like do PvP, or you just want to maybe be more successful with your raids, highly suggest using the Uzi. Its aim down sights is really fast as well. That's important. Like the DP28, it does a ton of damage, but its aim down sights is just way too slow. And you walk slower when you're aiming down sights, so it's not like you can like peek around corners while aiming down sights with the DP28. So Uzi I'd consider like the best gun in the game probably. And then the Viper, definitely like meme tier. It's trash. You can't aim down sights. Hip fire with it is just highly inaccurate. So yeah, so I think this is about where I'd put all the guns. Definitely, like, it can be a lot of personal preference, especially in this game. You can be successful with most of the guns in this game, so I'd highly suggest, if you're like just sticking to one gun, maybe, you know, expand your comfort zone, try out a new gun if you haven't. I was doing that the other day. I was just like using the Uzi mostly, but I sort of tried out some new guns when breaching pods and like killing people, and I really enjoyed it. So maybe if the game's getting a little stale or you're just using one gun, try using a different one. The guns in this game are all beautifully designed. I love using them. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this tier list, please consider leaving a like, subscribing. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting recently. And yeah, good luck with your raids. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.